Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting venture on Sorry No. We are a sex, life, relationship show. You write in and we do our very best to answer the questions of all the above. I'm Ray, this is Alyssa, my friend Liz is here. We are going to get into some questions tonight. How's everybody's week?
Good.
So far, so good.
I mean, you're doing the dry February. Is that what it is?
A detox February. I couldn't hang with like sober January.
I love how she picks the the smallest month.
It's
you. 28 days. You're
It's
like,
very
oh, I'm gonna do
astute of you.
February. I'm gonna do February. Yeah, 28 days, barely making it.
That's very astute.
That's funny. How about you, love? How's your week?
I went on a date Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay! Tell us.
Went to Sauce.
Oh yeah.
They had a blackout night, so it was a 5-course meal of desserts, and I had to feed my date blindfolded.
Really?
By blindfolded, I told him to shut up and open your mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. He tried to
Nice.
feed me. I said absolutely not.
No, I don't know what you're putting in my
Right.
mouth.
But no,
You're
Sauce.
like, I've tasted this before. What is this?
Sauce is a new restaurant that opened up in Erie.
It's the girl. Is it? She owns 2 restaurants.
Just one.
Just one.
But she owns that the Sunday ice cream truck.
Oh,
She does the
okay.
vegan desserts and everything.
Oh, she's the vegan girl. Yeah,
mhm.
that's right.
Yeah, it was good.
And it was vegan, all vegan?
All vegan desserts. Yeah.
Awesome.
So you took turns. One was blindfolded, one wasn't. That's how you did
Supposed to be, but
Yeah.
he was blindfolded the whole time.
it. Okay.
Wow.
I was a dominant one.
Wow, it just took control. Nice. So the food was good. And sauce, all vegan. Do you have to like dress in black too? Yeah, right. Like
Yes.
this. She's got like rules. I dig it. Yeah, I mean it's like it's something big city that Erie wouldn't. I mean everyone bitches in Erie. 'Cause,
you can't please everybody.
It's like, bro, then don't eat there. You know what I mean? Wear
Right.
black or don't eat there. I
Right.
don't care. It's cool.
Well, I also say, like, just that tells me that you're broke, like, because people are bitching about the price too. And her message behind it, though, is she's all about sustainability and no waste, and that's why she does the prepayment and everything too. So yeah, check it out. It's nice.
Oh, that's
Good
cool.
date night place, right?
Oh,
Nice.
Sweet.
Not a first date night though.
For me, yes, a first date night.
Yeah.
Where I go requires reservations.
If I could hear, like, I want to interview, like, we should just have, like, a show that's just
Alyssa's
after
dates.
dating Alyssa. And then Alyssa comes in, tells us her story, and then we secretly have the dude. And we don't, like, release it for a year, but we just take it for a year, and then we go, he goes, okay. And then she wouldn't put the blindfold on. And then she kept shoving the fork deep in my mouth so I'd gag.
I could get him on the show.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think we scared him.
Can
though,
he
at
be
the end of the night.
blindfolded the whole
Can
time?
you be blind
Yeah.
the whole Okay, now sit right here. What is on my head? Mic in his face. Yeah, nice. So, Bender, we got some questions.
We do.
Awesome. What's
So because Liz is on, I think this would be a good one too. And I'm probably not going to say this right. So I was on the pill monolinea. Is that right? For 6 years. Wasn't my choice. It was my mom's. I'm now 25 and have been off it for like 2 years. Is it normal to just start having regular periods? I stopped the pill because I wanted to have a baby, but my period never came back until a few months ago. I want to have a child, but I am nervous the pill made me infertile or something. Is that possible?
So, let me get these dates right, Bender. She was on it for 2 years. And
No, 6 years.
6
Or
years.
6
She's
years,
on it,
and then
she's been off it for
for 2.
And she just started having her period regularly.
So it took like 22 months to get her period back. Liz, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, Liz is the Virginius. She has a podcast and a TikTok talking about women's health, women's reproductive,
All things contraception.
all things contraception, and we basically do the show together once in a while. So, Liz, I bow to your expertise.
Well, thank you, Ray.
Of course.
Bender, could you spell the name of that pill for me,
She wrote
please?
it out. So phonetically, MONO-LINYAH. So monolinea is how I would pronounce that.
So let me ask you a question just to begin with, Liz. Is it
Okay.
odd for you not to get back a period for 22 months? How long does it take after, like, I know the shot, like, dries up your periods basically, and some other ones do, but 22 months just seems like a long time.
So it depends. So monolinea, there's so many generic versions of birth control pills that like that's like a generic name for a monophasic combination birth control pill. So that means there's an estrogen and a progestin. A lot of times it depends on whether the patient the short answer to this question is that's a little bit unusual for her to be not returned like to a period for 2 years. But if she had been taking that pill, like if she had been skipping her placebo week, they call that continuous use. That would be, maybe a situation where it would be more likely for her to take a little bit longer to get back to like ovulating and, having a period. So I would say you should talk to your doctor about that. I should also say that is not unheard of, but a little bit unusual.
Gotcha.
So again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare
Yeah, we're
provider,
not-
but I do have like over 30 years experience having like millions of conversations with, OBGYNs and nurses and,
You've seen it all.
I unfortunately have.
Nice. So, Alyssa, since we're on the topic of birth control, what is your poison of choice? No, I mean, I know you've been celibate for like 18 months.
No, you can shoot me up now. I don't
18
have a
years.
uterus, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So,
Yep.
how long ago was that?
That was back in 2021 when I had my cancer.
So, in 2021, did that send you into menopause?
No, because I sell my ovaries.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, that was a big deciding factor for me. But no, I haven't thought about birth control in years. And
Wow. Awesome.
I didn't like any of the birth controls. I was very sensitive to them, and I did the IUD, the Implanon one, which I was going to surgically take out myself at one point. It's horrible. I did the shot. Yeah.
Why are you nodding your head like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there are women who are very, very sensitive to hormone, which is why an IUD is a great choice because it acts like only in the uterus. But there's something for everyone, right? And it's very individual. And I don't have a uterus either, and it's a beautiful thing.
So the pull-out method, that's whatever to me now. So I don't have to worry about it.
You know what we
Viewers,
call
the pull-out method is not effective, and as a genius will tell you, that is not the way to go. Your favorite is an IUD, like a normal IUD, right? That's the one who you'd recommend for most people.
Well, I really like hormonal IUDs because you don't have to think about them and you return to fertility almost immediately. And it's like this really quick procedure and you don't have any circulating hormone. And so for the majority of women, that's like a really nice option to have.
My ex-wife was on the ring. It was all right.
Oh,
people
yeah.
love the ring. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. I just kind of remember having to fuck with it a little bit. Like, I don't know.
Well, the ring is better than the pill because you only have to worry about it like once a month. You have to
Put a new ring in. Yeah.
I have a little funny story about the ring. So I did not sell that particular method, but
Was she not taking them out? Did she have 32 rings in there? Go ahead.
no, I had a speaker do a talk for me because I sold the patch and a competitor sold the ring, and we were always fighting about what was the better method. And this speaker, he said, you know what? In Europe, the ring is better. You know why? Because a European chick, she'll sit on the toilet, and if the ring pops into the water, guess what she'll do? She'll reach into the toilet, she'll like rinse it off and shove it back in there. Guess what an American girl will do? She'll leave the shit in there and walk out of the bathroom and never look back because they're just so like
Yeah, they don't.
Right.
Yeah. So there's very
Viewers, if anything falls in the toilet, I would give that a good scrub before you put it back in your vagina.
just a rinse, just a little rinse.
It's not a Cheeto.
Yeah, spit on it.
It's not a Cheeto that
Oh
fell
my
on the
God.
floor. Yeah, we cover a lot of stuff in the Vagenius podcast. Like, there's so many like things that like I have no idea. I'm on it because I don't know and I'm interested, and it helps me with this show. But there's so many crazy things about birth control and what people actually do and what they should do. So that's your answer. We're not doctors. You should probably get checked out because it's been longer than normal. It's not crazy.
Track your
longer than normal.
period. Track your period. Put it on your calendar. Make sure you're marking the day you start, the day you're done, every month until you get in to see somebody.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then you take that information with you to see them and say, "This is my period. Okay, gotcha."
Good advice.
Yeah. Yeah. She's the genius. She's the genius.
So I saw a comedian. Her name's Taylor Tomlinson, and she was doing a set, and she said she was talking about a new movement where women were going off of birth control because they wanted to like be who they are, and because their hormones change. And one of the girls yelled from the crowd that she broke up with her boyfriend of 6 years after going off birth control because she wasn't attracted to him anymore.
Wow.
because they're, you know what I mean? Because you just completely kind of change.
Well, interesting.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it.
That's
but I've heard
interesting.
that,
I
yeah.
just feel like he was a douche, and you guys were destined to break up anyhow. But
I changed a
Yeah,
lot
but-
getting on blood pressure medicine.
Yeah.
Like my personality changed.
yeah, you're not like, yeah, you're not as what's
Well,
the word?
They've done studies with like.
Yeah, what's the word?
There's a word. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
Well, the natural cycle of a woman, just to interject slightly here,
Sure.
the natural cycle.
Here we go.
The natural cycle of a woman, okay, you've got like all these different phases, and during all these different phases of the month, a woman's personality changes. And so what the pill does is it suppresses, well, birth control in general suppresses ovulation and gives you artificial hormones. So you're basically, in taking hormonal contraception that is circulating, you're kind of like almost flattening out these phases that you should be riding up and down during the month. So right around the time when you're supposed to be ovulating is when you're like super horny and when you're really attracted to your, partner, and when you want to, all the goods. And then right after you're done ovulating, you're kind of sick of their shit and you just want to be like kind of left alone. And so you're, as a woman, to follow the natural rhythms of your month, you're 3 or 4 different people every month in that month. That's why it's really good for men who have partners that are not on any type of hormonal contraception to like get to know, oh, this is why she's acting withdrawn, or this is why she can't, get off me, or whatever. So going off of birth control and breaking up does not surprise me at all, because if you've been on birth control since you were like a teenager and you've been dating somebody for all these years, your moods are just like completely leveled out. And then when you're actually going through these phases, you're just, you seem crazy, basically, is what I'm saying, but you're not.
Yeah, and every woman's different, because I've dated girls who you can't tell, it's no big deal, they just move on with life, and then I've dated other girls who it's like, we get in an argument just before her period, she's just looking for a fight, you know what I mean? Like, she's just, it just is what it is. I did track it. I said, okay, it's 22nd, and next month it was the 25th, and then the month before that it was the 23rd. Right around this time, we have a blowout, and I said, come on, girl. It's not just, bring out the chart and then do a little bar graph, and it's not crazy,
Like
so.
Sheldon from The Big Bang.
I don't know.
Checked all the girls from the show's periods. So he knew.
Really? I don't know. I
That
don't
was a
remember
great show.
Yeah, Big Bang was a good show. All right, so I don't know where we are or what we're
Next
talking
question.
about. Next
Next
question.
question.
Beautiful. Bender can't put up with women's health.
Sorry, Bender.
No, that's all right. Like,
Gross.
I don't think men should know that. That should be a mystery.
When you're working on your mysterious lady parts.
All right. I, 25 female, have been with my partner, 28 male, for 3 years. I am at the stage where I want to be with him, but I'm not sure if I love him or if I am getting too comfortable in our relationship and don't want to leave. I am at a point where I'm just written terribly. I am at the point when I think about us and look at photos of us, I don't get happy or smile or anything, and I don't know what to do. He has done so much for me, and I don't want him to think it was all a waste. I do want to be with him, and I can see a future with him, but I have struggled with being alone in the past. Am I wondering if I am just with him because I don't want to be alone? What do you think? That was written terribly. Sorry about that.
Hey, viewers, do better.
And shorten them up. These are paragraphs. That, these
30
are, honestly, this is from our.
Should I dump him?
This is from our last 6 years ago show, so they
really?
may not even be together.
Yeah, they're not even together. Interesting. Hey, if this was your question, let us know. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I married him. Idiot. Dumb.
It'd be cool
crap.
if they actually did come back.
Yeah, right. Nice.
So what do you think?
So 25. She's 25. He's 28.
28.
They've been together for how long?
3 years.
3 years. And
Doesn't know if she actually loves him or just doesn't want to be alone.
Alyssa.
It sounds like to me the honeymoon phase is over. And now you're going to have to try to figure out if, actually building a life with this person instead of the rainbows and butterflies that you're getting in the very beginning. So it sounds like this is a point where the relationship is getting real.
And that's a long time for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good run. If you're
Right.
3 years and you're just getting into the shit,
Mm-hmm.
either you guys haven't been real with each other or you've just had a good fucking run, because that usually happens way before that. Liz, what do you think?
I looking at it from this very old age that I'm at right now, if it was my kid telling me that, I would have said, well, what do you have in common? What do you feel like when you think of your life without this person? And if it kind of bums you out to think of your life without this particular person, then, you know, give it some time and try to figure out whether or not you're just, like Alyssa said, moving into like this phase where, you know, because that stuff does not last forever. It just, I mean, there's love, and then there's a place in a relationship where love just becomes like an action verb instead of like, you know, you being whatever, dick drunk, or, you know, just having like the butterflies and the rainbows and all the good feels 24/7. That just that's not sustainable. So if it were my kid who is 27 or 21, I would basically say, give it a little more time, do a little think about it, and, you know, if you can't imagine your life without this person, stay with them. If you can imagine your life without this person, even if it feels scary to be alone, like, move on. You're young. There's like, you don't have complications. You don't have children. You don't have like all these other things.
You know, in this show, I'm very insightful. Right? I think back and I'm like, I've come up with some good stuff. But honestly, it's because you say something, I think about it, I chew on it. You said something, I think about it, chew on it. It just came to me because I go, ooh, I've got a good point. And I only have that good point because Liz's point, you know what I mean? So I always like letting you guys go first so that I can, you know, hit the home run out of the park. Here's what I would say. Number one, I both of you guys, valid points. I would say have a real conversation with that person. Maybe they're feeling the same way. Maybe you guys just part as friends. It's like, I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I didn't want to hurt you, whatever. Because then if you part as friends, you can always come back. You know what I mean? If you poison their dog, you know what I mean? Like, there's no coming back from that. You pull some fucked up shit or cheat on them or do something stupid, there's no coming back. You're never getting back. But if he may feel the same way that you feel, you know, put it out there. You know, see what he says. The other thing is, you're 25 and 28, you know, like, I'm kind of in your court with the, you know, see what happens. Like, think about how it'd be without this person. And when you think about how it is without someone, you have to think about all the way. He makes your coffee in the morning. He cooks your breakfast. He, you know, does all that shit. Like, all the ways that he's out of your life, not just the, like, happy ones Alyssa was talking about. So, I don't know. What do you think? Now, or fuck it. Just find someone else. Bender?
I would say you're getting pretty old at 28, and you need to lock that down. The older you get, the less quality that you are open to.
So Bender says your looks are failing.
I'm saying,
and you better judge
Take what
yourself
you
in a
can get.
mirror.
Take what you can get.
Oh,
if you
shit.
can't be with the one you love the one you're with.
Yeah.
So
Matt?
Well, I was just gonna say, 25 is kind of like 50 for men. It's kind of like a midlife crisis because at 25, that's when you have to decide, am I having kids? Like, if you haven't had kids, you're running out of time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if
What's
she's
a
thinking about
geriatric
kids, does
pregnancy? 33? 30?
No, I
It's
think
like-
it's like for a female, 35 and above.
Well, I think, well, I think it's more like 32 or something. Really.
Well,
think
your
they
eggs start
lowered it.
getting dusty at like, you know, your egg quality starts going down at age 30.
Yeah.
And your fertility starts to decline. But there are women, listen, this is like the age of technology. There are women well into their 40s getting pregnant and having kids.
Yeah, but that's very expensive.
It is.
Number one's expensive. Number two,
it's 35.
It's 35. Okay, number two, you get knocked up at 40. You have your kid at 41 basically, and 20 years, like, you're walking your kid graduation at 60. Yeah, I mean, your quality of life, like, you're cutting into your actual decent years, you know what I mean?
Right.
5 years from then you retire. It's like, you know, women start bleeding at 15 for a reason, and I don't think 15-year-olds should be having children, but I think that, you know, the sooner you have children and make that decision, the better it is. Like, everyone who has kids when they're young, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm done. You know what I mean? You have a kid at 40, and there's someone who had a kid at 20, and that person, they've raised 2 kids. You know what I mean? You're just starting. And now
Right.
she's at 40, and she's like, time to have fun. And you're like, oh, shit, I have to, you know, change diapers and do all the bullshit. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm all for getting them done early as you can. That is a valid point when you're 25. That is kind of like, you know, is this a person I want to have children with? If that comes into play.
Already a spinster in my eyes.
Oh my God, dudes, you guys do not have a clock that ticks. Your sperm are good for like till you're, 60.
I believe it is like 25. If you're unmarried, you're a spinster, technically.
Really?
Yeah, I believe it's something like that.
Maybe in the 1870s.
That's because you only
I'm
live
just-
to be
I'm just
35.
using a technical term. I don't know.
I saw some comedians that are like, oh, you have like 8 kids. Why are you having 8 kids? Oh, because that's what they used to do back in the day. It's like, yeah, but if a kid had a headache back in the day, that was it. That one's dead. You need another one to replace that one. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
You got the fields to work.
exactly. You put him in bed, put a cold compress on him. You come out, you talk to your wife. We need to have another kid because that guy, he's got a headache. It's over for him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
24.
24 is
Yeah,
what?
if you're 24, you're
Spinster
a
in,
So,
What are you
The-
getting this
the-
Get
information?
Good
your
old
first
days.
cat.
I'm just
Get your
telling you what
first
the
cat.
definition is.
Georgia and England.
Hilarious. All right, Benner, what's up?
All right. I'm a 50-year-old female. A few weeks ago into a new relationship. A few weeks ago. It doesn't even make fucking sense.
We love you. Keep writing in.
I think this.
You're bashing. You ignorant sluts.
Let me rephrase this.
Stop.
I am a senile old lady. A few weeks ago.
Don't
So,
a few weeks
shit
ago-
on the people actually writing in, Bender.
We're getting rid of a go because it's not a go. A few weeks into a new relationship, also with a 50-year-old, going really well so far, despite some hard logistical issues.
Right.
But I find we are still a bit at the nervous stage with each other, and we're often talking on a superficial level. I'm fine with small talk. I could edit this more, but I'd like to take it a bit deeper in a natural way. I don't want it to sound like an interview. We have touched on more in-depth topics, but not much. We are both probably introverts. With my last partner, he was really good at exploring things on a deep level, but I'm racking my memory as to how he phrased things when he asked me cues. Love to hear your opinions. Don't print out a list.
So her old boyfriend got
Bender.
deeper. Her new boyfriend's
More superficial. They're the same
not
age.
as deep.
I liked your list idea, Bender.
Yeah.
How long have they been together?
They just
Few
started
weeks.
dating, a few weeks.
Oh, give it some time. I mean,
They're both 50. They don't have much time left.
Hey, watch it. I joke.
What's
Maybe I should answer since I'm the only over 50 person
Go
in
ahead.
this room.
Let's hear that answer, and then we'll tell you what you should do. Go ahead.
So, I don't date because I'm married, but I do have single friends in that age range that do date, and I
We
think
just talked about this earlier, how it's a nightmare.
yeah. And so everybody is coming to the table with some baggage, some significant lifelong baggage. So be gentle with yourself and with this new person that you're trying to get to know. And I think maybe try the angle of trying to create like some fun experiences and memories as a segue to getting to know this person a little better in a non-confrontational or non-interviewing way. Like, tell me something really fun that you used to do with your kids that you haven't done in a while, or tell me something fun that like let's think of an idea of something we can do together that whatever. Like, build an activity around it so that you have like this common memory that you can kind of tap into and just get to know each other a little better in a more gentle way.
My going on the drive with the book of questions is
I
a
like
good
that.
one.
Yes, I agree.
Because that's a perfect opportunity. It's a book. It's literally like this big, and it's like this thick, and it has 400 questions where you can just whatever. I would take that person on a long road trip somewhere, out to dinner somewhere, and just throw the book to them and be like, "Hey, I found this. It's cool. Let's check it out." If they don't want to talk about their past, serial killer.
Also, a
listen.
bottle of vodka and 2 truths and a lie. I mean, there's no way to get to answers any faster than that.
know.
Do you have any friends in their 50s who are single and dating?
Yes.
How do they do that? Like, it just seems like you have a whole life of experience. How do you even, I mean, you have a good 20, 30 years left if you're lucky.
Yes.
But it's like, how would you even begin to think to pair up with somebody else? And to me, that sounds just like the most terrifying, I don't know.
Bender, how old are you?
27.
27.
There's a little bit of a spectrum, I would say, on the on how this goes down. I've got a friend who is really like she loves to share, and I'm like, you don't have to say all that stuff like on a first meet. Like, just hold back something, anything, just a little bit. Like, I think that I think that there's better ways to go
Like
about
share what?
you name it, the entirety of the baggage.
Okay.
Okay. And then there's friends that are just kind of they're more weeders, where it's like, what are you looking for? Are you just looking to get laid? Are you looking for a partner? Are you looking for a companion? Are you looking for a nursemaid? When you're in your well into your 50s, you got to consider what exactly this man wants from you, because chances are that person's either divorced or widowed, and
Yeah, when you said you got baggage, like when you're 50, you got a lot of baggage. Like
Yeah,
I'm
you have
40.
a whole life
Listen,
worth.
I'm
like,
47. I've got tons of baggage. You know what I mean? Like I've got 2 kids. I've got a ex-wife. Like my baggage isn't pretty.
Maybe not even baggage, but you are so
Relationship
set.
patterns.
You're so set in who you are as a person at
Yeah.
that point that it's like, I don't know.
Alyssa, what do you think?
Well, and sorry.
I'm just taking it all in.
Alyssa's like, I'm gonna be there in 20
Yep,
years.
exactly. I mean, even at my age, yeah, you really start to see. Here's the thing: everyone has baggage, but it's what you choose to do with your baggage is what makes you dateable. Because everyone has some sort of childhood trauma or an unhealed trauma or something going on. You just got to figure out if you're willing, if you as a person, if you're healed from your trauma, and also when you're dating, if you're willing to put up with somebody else's trauma and their baggage.
It's true, because you say that makes me think of that kind of baggage. When I think of you, I think of you got a crazy ex-husband. Yeah, I mean, like that's where my baggage. When I say baggage usually falls to me like kids, crazy exes, like all that shit. Where like Alyssa, like someone dating you, like that's part of the package. You're a single mom, and not just as you're a single mom. So yeah, I've got
That's
kids.
baggage too.
Yeah,
it is.
You're like, yeah, but you're like, yeah, I've got kids, and in our age, yeah, everyone has kids.
But when
Who
you're
gives a
older, it's
fuck?
better because then your kids are grown up, so it's not.
Yeah,
not
but what
so
I'm
much a
saying is,
factor.
I'm saying, yeah, you have kids, but you have kids, but oh yeah, and
well, that's
he's a doucher.
that's one
Yeah.
thing when just with me dating, it's not so much, which I've noticed before. Like I would say when I was in my 20s, I had such a stigma myself for dating men that had children. I was like, ew. But now that I have children, I notice when guys ask me, they don't really worry so much about me having children. They're actually more so interested in the relationship that I have with my children's father.
Yeah.
Like what custody is like if we talk, or and I have complete sole custody. But yeah, they're very interested in that I noticed.
Yeah.
Because they want to know if they're in for that baby
Yeah.
daddy drama. Nobody wants to deal with
That's the
that.
shit. Yeah, exactly.
I've never even thought about that.
Yeah. When you're talking about that kind of that's
That
the
kind of
fucking
baggage.
drama,
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I think of baggage, I'm like, look, kids. Everyone our age has kids. You're over 30 and you don't have kids. What the fuck's wrong with you? No offense.
I think
Alyssa, you make a really good point, because I think that when you're talking about trauma and moving forward in another relationship, everybody's dating somebody because their last relationship didn't work out. And are you a person that learned from that and is trying to get better from that on both sides? And or do you just have somebody that you're dating who is just going to keep dating and breaking up
Right.
without ever having to do any, without ever looking at your part in any of these failures? So
right.
Yeah. Girls always said to me like, wow, you get it. It's like, yeah, because I've run through so many bitches. I'm like taking notes like, okay, yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But the fact that I take notes is better than most guys out there. It's like, hey, idiot, you did this. She threw a drink in your face. That didn't work. You know what I mean? Or, you're doing this, and it's getting a poor response. Or, all these things. Come on, man. You either want to be successful or you don't. You either take the things you learn or you just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. It's fucking stupid, So valid points all the way around. As far as this question goes,
Yeah, so you're 50 years old. How long do you give this new relationship before you say, you know what, I'm not getting the intellectual aspect of it or whatever?
let's fall back to Liz's experience on this one. Is the clock ticking, Liz? Is it like, hey, you need to let's go. I got 20 years left. We need to decide whether we're doing this. You can't take a year beating around the bush deciding whether you like this prick or not. You need to either be cool and tell me what you're about, or I got to move on because clock's ticking.
Well, you make a good point, but it's early. It's early days.
Yeah.
And if you can't, after the next 3 or 4 dates, crack a shell, sorry, next.
Yeah.
Just don't settle, even though you feel like you might need to settle. I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. my husband's grandfather.
Yeah.
My husband's
Yeah, that
grandfather.
boy getting some.
I'm not even kidding. We were at dinner, and
I
he
don't
asked me if
Tom
I
Grace, that's
sold
his name?
that was great. He's like eating dinner, at a birthday party. He's like, "Hey, do you sell those blue pills? I got a girlfriend at the nursing home, 80 years old." I mean, the dude was like unstoppable. And I'm saying, it's never too late to want companionship. It's never too late to find somebody that you're very compatible with. So even though you both sound like you're introverts, give it a couple more dates. But if it's not happening, move
Alyssa,
on.
you worked in a nursing home before, haven't you?
Yes.
And there's a lot of
a
old
hotbed,
people.
isn't it?
And there's a lot of fucking going on. Is it true?
I have to be careful with what I say. So this was when I was a baby nurse, and there was a 90-year-old man, and it was in the Alzheimer's unit.
Giving everyone the herb.
He teabagged my one patient, like willingly, and he was on like all sort of psychotropic medications, like stuff that would not make his dick work, and he still was very horny.
Did she return the favor? A little flappuccino? Did she give him the old...
I didn't go. I just know what was reported to me, and I just shook my head because, yeah, and it does still happen. Yes, at that age.
Oh, God bless him.
But that's what they want is companionship, though.
I was dating a nurse, and this 97-year-old, she goes, "Hey, we're talking." I said, "How's your day?" Blah, blah, blah. She said, "Yeah, blah, blah." She goes, "Yeah, I was dating this nurse. I was working with this guy. He's like 97. He don't have long." And he said, "Yeah, he reached up and grabbed my titty today." I said, "Really? What'd you do?" He goes, "I gave him the other one." I was like, "What?" He goes, "He's going to die. He's 97. I said, "Nah, it's cool. It's fine."
Oh, my God.
Good job, honey. Good job.
That's good
fine.
karma.
Yeah, good karma. Exactly. There's a place in heaven for that girl.
Well, I guess I'm going to hell because I would never do that.
Well, Alyssa breaks the 97-year-old's hand. What the fuck are you touching me for? Picks up her shoe, hits him in the face. Nice. So, what are we in your 50s? Hey, I suggest that you get a move on. I would, you're 50. Why are you guys acting like you're worried about what he says? You know what I mean? Just be honest. Ask questions. What are you worried about?
Be authentic.
Be authentic. It's
Exactly.
like, come on, the clock's ticking on both of you guys. You know what I mean? You could break a hip at any minute.
Right.
We love our older viewers. Keep watching.
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Benner,
please.
what's next?
Well, actually, I have a question for Alyssa.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
No, it's about.
This is why we're here.
It's about. No,
Wait, what? Seltzer.
I literally thought you said what he tastes like the old man was teabagging you. No.
It's a single mom question.
Here we go.
When you were dating, would you look for partners who didn't have kids, or was it not a factor at all? You
Wait.
said you were specifically going for guys with kids.
Before you answer this,
Yeah.
Bender is dating right now, looking for some ass, and he's actually asking you questions because this motherfucker wants to know. Go ahead.
No, that was my question.
I know it is.
So before I had my kids, I wouldn't talk to anybody that had kids.
Yeah.
But now that I don't, or now that I do have kids.
When did you have your kids? How old were you?
I had my first one at 23.
Yeah, so you're young, and someone has kids,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, fuck that! I don't want all that." Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I more so look at their interactions with the kids too. I've been on dates where they want me to meet their kids instantly, and that to me is a huge red flag, especially
Mommy.
right.
Yeah.
On a side note, there's been times on the first date that I've met people's kids, and even though their kids are older, it's still very uncomfortable because I just think that you shouldn't introduce, because you especially never know in today's society. Like I could be a serial killer or a psycho person, and you're
Yeah, but
allowing
you're
me all this
also a
access to your
chick.
life.
They
But
exist.
still, I just think
I get it.
even with me being a female, and I may be safe, but just introducing, like I just think it's way too early
I'm with you.
to do all of that stuff.
When my ex would bring dudes around my daughters, that pissed me off
Right,
too
absolutely.
soon because I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, "Oh, you bring girls around." I said, number one, she's a fucking doctor, and number two, she's not. She's a
predator.
fucking girl. She's not a predator. Like, yes, men get raped too by other men. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
I disagree with your point though. Like just because she's a female doesn't mean that she's safe.
Not safe, but I don't know. Maybe
What's
almost.
the odds? Like,
What are
if you
the
were gambling
odds? Yeah,
in a
that.
casino.
And I don't let the girl alone with my kids. She just met them. Whereas, like, if there was okay, if my daughters were sleeping over at my house, I never did this, and I wanted to like have a girl over. There's a 1% chance that woman's gonna wake up in the middle of the night and fuck with my daughters. You know, you have some fucking skeezer guy who you don't know, and you take him home, and your kids are home, and he sleeps over. There's a better shot that dude is gonna fucking do something inappropriate with my daughters, and that's just where I'm at. I mean, I think that's just stats. I don't know, but
That's
maybe,
a valid fear.
Maybe I'm way off, but I just feel like they're in way less danger for mine than for hers. I mean, and that's just the way it is.
I have a solid rule personally. I have to, for them to meet my children, it has to be a 6 month, and not like just talking. I mean, an actual committed relationship where we are officially boyfriend and girlfriend, monogamous, in order for them to even meet my children.
And you know that dude's a weirdo within 6 months. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like, that's the deal. Like, that's a great rule. I love this show for a couple reasons. Number one, you get out points, like I just said. But then the other point that I want to make is the fact that Alyssa said, yeah, it's really uncomfortable when I meet someone's kids, even if they're adult kids. If you're dating someone, don't do that. You know what I mean? Someone watching the show right now goes, I didn't realize that's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's fucking uncomfortable, bro. I don't care that they're adults or not. It's not cool. Like, it's me and you. I want to get to know you. We don't even know if we're going to go on a second date, and you're already introducing me to your kids. No.
And also, too, like, you know, I used to work at the Erie County Prison as a nurse, and I worked in maximum security with the sex offenders. So people think that, you know, the child molesters and the child rapists are, you know, what you see on cartoons or media, like they look real creepy and everything.
Cartoons are you watching?
I know. You remember, like, the PSAs,
on
like,
SpongeBob, where
don't,
that creepy
Dexter.
fish.
don't talk to strangers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what these people look like. And that's
You
why
can't tell.
you have to err on the side of caution
For sure.
with bringing somebody around your
That's an
children with
interesting.
dating.
That's a great, valid point. Is that these people like they're serial killer. So, my friend was at a roulette table and he's playing craps table and he's playing with some guy next to him, right? And the guy next to him goes, "Yeah," and they start talking, just questions, getting to know each other. He goes, "When I was a kid, I grew up down the street from Jeffrey Dahmer." Right? That's what this guy said to my friend, and he goes, "Wow," and he goes, "Yeah." And the worst fucking part of it was, forever, my mother would be like, "Why can't you be more like that nice Dahmer boy?" Like, that's what she would say to this kid growing up. And this motherfucker's keeping people in his freezer. Same house. Yeah, exactly. So you can't tell. You don't know. I mean, that's why you got to give it the, 2 months, 6 months, whatever you're comfortable with. Make sure you understand who this person is, and you'll know. You'll know a creeper eventually. They'll be tells.
I'm pretty good at hiding it.
One of the scariest cases that I seen there was a guy that was in there, and he kidnapped his girlfriend along with the girlfriend's son and held them hostage for quite a few days. And this was her boyfriend, not someone she was dating for long. So that's why just very, very important to at least 6 month minimum rule.
Yeah, enough where it was her
Erie.
boyfriend. You know what I mean? Yeah. Guys are scum. Be careful. So what question was that? What are we even talking
Not
about?
that I brought because I was.
Oh yeah, Bender wants to know how he
How
gets
I
a girl
taste?
with kids.
No.
Yeah.
That's
He wants
no.
to know
No. I don't. I see that. I see it as I don't.
How you tasted the old man. That's what he wants. I didn't know what the question was.
The idea of approaching someone without kids seems stupid. Because why would you want to get in a relationship with somebody who has a kid when you have the possibility of like a fresh start? You know what I mean? Like kids, not that kids are baggage, but why would you want to get involved? It's like getting involved with the whole family. Like at some point, it's going to come to that 6 months, a year, whenever you introduce her. Like, why would somebody want to take that on?
So
when I'm thinking about, okay, yeah, I do want to date again, but then it's like, okay, well, I'm in my 40s. Like most people either have kids or if they don't have kids, I don't want to like put that on them,
So let me just field one thing real quick.
Am I expressing that well?
Don't,
Yeah, you are. You are.
Don't forget your point. Here's the deal, Bender. It's odds. You know what I mean? The odds on you finding someone in your dateable age bracket who is going to look at a 40-year-old man and go, "I'd date him." Someone who's in their 30s, like you get younger than that, and it's the odds go even lower. You know what I mean? So you are looking at just a percentage in numbers that you're talking about women in their 30s. The majority of them have children already. You're just talking about a numbers game. If you say I don't want to have anyone with kids, you just took away, 60% of the population of 30-year-old women. It's just a numbers game. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I think for me, not so much like if they have kids or don't have kids, because like you said, it's going to be very difficult. My deal breaker though is the age of the child. For me personally, I don't want to go back to
Diapers.
Toddlers. My cutoff line is 12 years or less. I can't.
See, my daughter's 9.
Yeah, but if
I had a kid late
but
in life.
I mean, and here's the other thing, Alyssa, that's her rule of thumb, 12. Some guy's got an 11-year-old, and he's got his
12.
shit together.
She's fully grown and out of the house.
Exactly. Someone's got their shit together. They're a shit together guy. They seem like they talk
Right.
about their ex and how they have a good shared whatever and have on the week. You make exceptions. You just got to have some basic ground rules to like look at. But if your basic ground rules, Bender, are that you don't want to date someone with kids, it's going to be hard. And it's all percentages. I always say this when people are talking about dating. And that's why dating apps work so well. Because if you don't want someone who smokes, it automatically takes those people off. Right? So you can cut all the bullshit that are, the deal breakers are gone and this is what's left. But when you do that, you're talking about your numbers go way down. Your odds of finding someone. That's like women want 6 figures, 6 foot tall, six-pack abs, the whole nine. You take that and you run the numbers, and they're like 1%. You have like 1% of the male population that fits that role, and that 1%. Excuse me. Coke Zero sponsors. But you do that. You take that 1%, and now that 1% has their pick. Like, they can pick anybody because they're 6 foot tall. They've got a good job. They've got abs. They've got all this whatever. Like, they're not looking to settle down because they're just running through chicks like crazy. So it's a percentage game. It's an odds game, So my only thing to use, Bender, it's, I would be doing what Alyssa does and set, okay, yeah, they can have kids. I just don't want them to have a baby because then I have to change diapers and all that shit, because that's probably what I would do if you want a prayer of finding someone, especially when you're in Erie and it's small numbers to begin with.
I would say that I think that the kind of parent you are is very indicative of the kind of person that you are. And I think that if you know that the chances of you finding a woman that's childless, that wants children even, I think that you could get to know somebody actually a lot better, a lot faster with them as a parent. Because you can tell somebody's character, you can tell somebody's stress tolerance, you can tell somebody's, commitment level, you can tell somebody's maturity by what kind of parent they are, and by, asking them questions about how they run their family, how they run their schedule, what kind of relationship they have with their children, how they like to parent. Like, it's,
you're going to meet the kid. You're going to see how that parent interacts with that kid, and then you're going to know what happens when the fucking rubber hits the road, when it's a hard time.
Yeah,
could
be a great weeder.
Yeah, exactly. A bailout kind of bird, like, oh, do whatever you want, kid. And you're like, oh, shit,
Yeah.
Okay. Bender, good luck.
Thanks. Yeah. Prostitution.
Hookers for life.
No, I wouldn't. Not since the blood pressure medicine. It's made me soft.
Yikes.
That's what she said.
That's all the questions we have for today.
That is?
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, cool.
All right, guys. It's going to be a short one today. Thank you for tuning in. You can see us down here, and I'm sure he's going to put something up here somewhere about where you can see our shows. Tune in. Send your questions in. Let us know. You have any questions about love, life, sex, relationships, anything goes. We are here for you.
Keep the questions short.
And check for your grammatical
You know
errors.
what?
Yeah,
no, just send whatever. We get like 4 questions,
I don't have
and he's
time
like
I don't have time to
picking
fix
them
these.
apart. Like, what the fuck? No, thank you 4 people for fucking showing.
We love the questions.
Exactly. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.